Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marilyn. It is so nice to have you here. For today's video, I will be showing you guys my healing decks. The decks that really heal me. They heal my soul, they penetrate my interior. And I will also show you the decks that I use whenever I connect with my ancestors, as well as talk a little bit about some crystals that I also use in my spirit practice and whenever I am working with the tarot or the oracle. You know, crystals that help heal me and help connect with my ancestors, as well as my deity, which is Santa Muerte. So if you are interested in that, please keep on watching. Okay, so the first deck is the Herb Crafter's Tarot. This deck is absolutely fantabulous. Fantabulous, fabulous, okay? I love it. I think that the artwork is so soft. It's so soothing. It really heals me. Like, I don't know, I've noticed lately that like artwork, like if I really resonate with a type of artwork, it heals me. Like it really heals me. And before even getting this deck, I had no idea that it would be infused with Mesoamerican culture. And I'm Mexican, you know, I'm Mexican indigenous. And the guidebook, it's so fantastic. I love the guidance it provides. Like, reading the guidebook and like flipping through the cards, I saw that the court cards, their names were changed. So for the pages, it was called the hijas, which is daughters. And then for the knights, they were called adelitas, which translates to warrior. And the queens, they were madres, which is mother. And the kings were referred to as curanderas, which is healer. And dude, like that blew me away. I had no prior knowledge of this. Like I just saw this on Amazon and I was like, yeah, I'll get that. Like, look at this. This is hot chocolate. Cacao. Hot chocolate was invented in Mexico. Like, I had no idea that they were going to be providing this deck. Like, this heals me. This reminds me of my childhood. I absolutely love it because my mother, she, for any cold that we had, any sickness that we had, she always went out into the garden and cut up some of the medicinal herbs that she had, and she'd always make us a tea. Like, that is why I love making tea. I love, you know, my witchcraft. I love everything about herbs because I know how to heal with them, because my mother taught me, my father taught me. And I don't know, this deck just brings me so close to like my mother. And she's not here, like she's in Mexico. I am all the way up here in North America. And I freaking miss her. And so like whenever I grab this deck, I just feel like I'm getting hugged by her. And so whenever I grab this deck to do my readings, like personal readings for me, it always feels like I'm having a sit down with my mother over some tea. And we're just conversating. And, you know, I can even imagine her be like, well, mija, ¿cómo estás? Like, how are you, daughter? You know, and like even the imagery, like look at that. It feels like it's my mother. She's there. She's cooking. She's making her little potions, her little teas, and I just love it. Oh, it just brings me closer. I don't know. I love it. I love it. It's fantastic. And rosemary, guys. Rosemary is fantastic. Rosemary is like the all-purpose herb for me because it's like clear quartz. This deck to me feels like a grandmother. It feels like a grandmother. I'm curious, do you guys have any decks like that that you feel like they could be persons that you can talk to? This one's like my mother, my grandmother. My grandmother, rest her soul. Yeah, both of my grandparents are, they're crossed over. They're no longer here, and it feels nice. It feels like I'm just getting the advice from my grandmother. Like if she were still here. Do you guys have any decks like that are very healing and, that really speak to your soul? Because this one is the one for me. I love this one. And if you have this deck, do you feel the same way? Like, how do you use this deck? How does this deck come across to you? Or do you just not vibe with it at all? Because there are some decks that I have been very intimidated by that I don't feel like I'll ever really connect with, because of the vibe and the frequency, but for me, like lately, I have just been on like a kick of like working on myself, on my shadow work, connecting more with my ancestors, connecting more with Santa Muerte. And Santa Muerte, I have a statue of her, but I just don't want to show you because it's very private to me. But Santa Muerte, she is the goddess of death, of transformation. She is why we have the Day of the Dead in Mexico, And so I just feel very close to Santa Muerte, Mictecasihuatl, whenever I use this deck as well, because I feel like she really brings out and lets me use my intuition a lot more deeper with her, and while I am connecting with my ancestors. So yeah, but this deck is very healing to me. It's one of the reasons why I feel like I am being called to do this work a lot more and like work on myself and heal my family, because I am the only daughter and I'm kind of like the black sheep of the family. And I don't know, it's just like having both grandparents that are no longer here. I feel like I can't really like talk to them in person, and ask them about like my ancestors and like their grandparents and their life, and because the only time I've ever seen my grandparents was when I was 3 years old, and I'm already 24. And my grandmother, she died in 2017. I was 17 at the time. So I don't have that, and I wish I did. But with this deck, I feel like it's okay, because like I feel like I'm talking with her and she's here telling me, advice and just how I feel like she would talk to me if she were here today, So yeah, this deck is my favorite. Now my next deck I have featured already, but it is the Tarot de la Santa Muerte, Tarot of the Santa Muerte. And dude, this deck is fantabulous. I love it because I obviously work with her. She is the patron goddess of death. She is the rebirth, the transformation. And she's a big part in Mexico. There are a lot of devotees all over the world that follow Santa Muerte, right? But her birthplace is Mexico. That is where she is from. And I absolutely love the fact that everybody, when they get the call from her, they love her. She doesn't judge. I mean, it's the energy of death, right? It's the energy of transformation. And in the community, there is a lot of negativity, but for me, my personal journey with Santa Muerte, I really feel like she helps me feel better. She helps me be better. And having a deck specifically made in her honor is just amazing, because there's not a lot of decks that are geared towards certain deities, you know? And so I feel very happy, very honored to have a deck that, you know, I can just have and chat with my deity, Santa Muerte, you know? I have like 3 more decks of her. This one just like really talks to me the most, and I love it. I love the artwork. I love how straightforward the messages are. You know, I don't have to ponder too much on what it is that she's trying to tell me, or even if I'm not working with her, this deck it's great. Like, I love how accurate it is and how straightforward it is. There's no BS. So yeah. But there is a lot of miscommunication and like misinterpretations on who Santa Muerte is and why people think that she's evil, and how, you know, people think that she's only worshipped by people that are in the cartels and, you know, doing the violence and the drugs and stuff. Like, well, that could be very true, right? But it's not just that. Like, there's more to it. This is the energy of transformation, and I wish people would get that. And a lot of people fear death. They fear change, and change is the only thing that will set you free. You know, it's scary, but it's good for you. It's so good for you. And I don't know, I'm gonna make a video on just specifically talking about my journey with Santa Muerte, and just, I don't know yet, but I feel like she's been meaning for me to talk about this. Yeah, she's been meaning for me to talk about this and like share the love, share the love with the community, with the world, because that's what we're really here for. You know, we're here to progress, we're here to evolve, we're here to learn our lessons and, you know, move forward. So yeah, this is deck number 2 that I consider a very healing deck for me in my practice. Deck number 3 I've featured already on this channel, but I am going to be working more in depth with the Goddess of Love Tarot, because I did mention in my last deck haul that, dude, my period left for like 2 years, and I was very worried. And I feel like with this deck, I get the energy for me to like work on my sensuality, work on my sacral chakra, my solar plexus, you know, work more on like the lower chakras. So like my root chakra, sacral, solar, because I need to like get the creativity going, you know? And I really get that from this deck. I get the divine feminine energy. I get the empowerment, and I have been without for a while and I am ready to invite that energy in. So this is why I am choosing this. So yeah, I think it's time for me to really get into my divine feminine energy and, you know, just be open to receiving, because I feel like I shut myself down a lot. Like, even when I know that I deserve something good in my life, I still ponder, like, do I really, you know? And I want to be in that energy of abundance. I want to be in the energy of confidence and not being afraid of what people think, and, you know, be authentic with myself and speak my truth and, you know, really do my mark on this world, you know, because that's very important to me and it's part of my life purpose. So I feel like this deck is really going to help show me some things, and I have a feeling it's going to help me conquer and integrate my shadow self. So I'm excited. Next deck is fairly new into my collection. I still haven't really fully immersed myself into this deck, but I am going to be doing so for the next few winter months here in North America. And let me just say, this deck is so convoluted, but in the best way. It has so much information, so much knowledge and guidance that I feel is so important and imperative in my journey as I'm learning about myself and, the collective consciousness, This is a very healing deck for the reason that I myself identify as a starseed, and I know I've had so many past lives in different dimensions, different paradigms, and so on. So I feel a very strong connection to it because it's like so much information that I have been wanting to learn about since I was 12, actually, because that is when I had my first spiritual starseed awakening. And I didn't know how to process that, and I didn't have anyone face to face to me to really tell me who I am, obviously, because who knows you better than yourself, right? And I was so young, I was a child, but now that I'm older, and now that I'm sitting down and really honing in on myself and who I am and what my life purpose is, and discovering so many things about myself, this deck does that for me, and I know it will. With this deck, with the little time that I've worked with it, I'm kind of now just sort of putting the pieces together to the puzzle of past traumas and why I feel a certain way, or why things trigger me, or why it is that I have chosen these lessons to learn in my life. It's because of my past lives and my higher self, and I don't even know how to explain it. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, but this deck is just, it unlocks parts of myself that I never knew I had. Or I did, I just didn't know how to understand. And I feel like I do with this deck. I feel like it's great. Lisa Royal Holt just hit it out of the ballpark with this one. If you're interested as well, Lisa Royal Holt has her own YouTube channel where she talks about the cards and talks a lot about, the cosmos and spirit and just transitioning and, the old star races that have been here for years and eons and different dimensions and, just, I don't know, it's like Dolores Cannon. If you know her and her work, that stuff, it's just if you vibe with it, you vibe with it, and if you don't, then you don't. That's fine. It's your own journey, right? But this is, I feel, it's gonna be such a healing deck for me to work with this winter, and I am excited. I'm excited. And it's funny because speaking about where I come from and culture and my roots, I know that I have my earth family here, right? I chose my family. I chose to come here. But there's also parts of me that is well, I'm not just from here. I know that I've been other places. I know that I've lived in other lives, in other worlds. And galactic heritage cards. That's it's so fitting for me. I'm just so excited, guys. I'm so excited. Do you guys have this deck? It's kind of intimidating because there's so much information, but the information is so profound, and I feel like it can really help you. I am, girl, I don't even know what to say. I'm just ready. I'm ready for this. Ready for the change. What better cards to help you navigate this earth school that we are currently in? Because remember, we are souls that are existing in this three-dimensional world, and we're here to learn, we're here to evolve, and Okay, that's just my point of view, my perspective, what I believe in, right? But, you know, luckily, I hope some of you guys feel the same way, you know. We as the collective, the hive mind, right? So, yeah. These are great. I love these cards. And you can definitely check her out, Lisa Royal Holt. She is on YouTube. And she gives lectures and she talks about her cards and how you can use them and deciphering the messages, you know, although her guidebook does a really good job of deciphering everything. I bring you the crystals that I have been actively working with these past few days and that I will continue working for this whole winter. So here we have clear quartz. Clear quartz is the master healer. It is the crystal that connects you with all of your energy centers, better known as your chakras. Here we have a smoky quartz wand or double terminated point. Here we also have another smoky quartz palm. And this one I like to use whenever I am meditating or whenever I am doing my readings and I just need to hold something to help me channel better the messages that are coming through. And here is citrine. Citrine is known as the abundance stone, and it connects with your solar plexus and and your sacral chakra. And I have been using this not only because, well, as you have heard, I have, you know, been having trouble with my creativity, finding that balance and that confidence within myself. So I've been using all of these crystals in unison to help balance me and my emotions and for the transitions that are to come in my life. And I've been working with these crystals with Santa Muerte. And I intend to work more with these crystals with Santa Muerte so that I may bring this balance within me. The card that is currently on my altar is the Strength card. And I absolutely love the depiction of the Strength card here. I love that Santa Muerte is here, you know, putting her hands on her head. And I feel like that's me. Like whenever I channel, that's how I feel. Like I feel that she's there holding me in her space so that I may connect with her. And I feel so loved. So these are the crystals that I work with as of right now and into the winter. These crystal choices may change because, you know, transitions and cycles. I am gearing a lot more towards amethyst as of late. So who knows if that'll change. I also wanted to show you guys a piece of jewelry that I created and that I charged with the energy of Santa Muerte. She blessed it. It's this tiger's eye and skull bracelet that I made. And tiger's eye is my birthstone because I'm a Leo. But I've also found and feel that tiger's eye is a crystal that also helps me connect and channel a lot more with my Santa Muerte. And I do have a tiger's eye sphere that looks like a tiger's eye, which is really dope. But yeah, like I said, like my crystal choices and things, they'll change as like the weeks and months go by. But I am just so excited to start this journey. And I've also noticed that all the crystals that I've mentioned all work with the lower chakras, you know, aside from clear quartz, because clear quartz, you know, it's for all of the chakras. But smoky quartz and citrine, smoky quartz is for the root chakra, And, you know, that's, you know, feeling grounded, right? I need that in order to do this heavy work that I'm going to be going through. And the citrine is for the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, to bring in that abundance, you know, not just like money and material things. Like, I want abundance in, you know, spiritual abundance, you know, having that clairvoyance and stuff, and that creativity, you know, having that energy of happiness. And I think it ties so well. So to conclude this video, I just want to say that I am happy to be sharing this with you guys, and I am happy for the new perspective in life that I am going to be undergoing, and the transitions and the new cycles. And I hope that if you are currently going through transitions and new cycles, that you embrace them head on, and that you stand strong in the face of adversity. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.